What if every immigrant suddenly left the United States? That's 45 million people, 13% of the entire population, gone overnight. Sounds dramatic? It gets worse. The hospitality industry collapsed. Your local grocery store? Shelves empty. Because over 70% of America's farm workers are immigrants. Need a doctor? Good luck. More than 25% of our physicians and 15% of our nurses come from abroad. That's millions of patients suddenly without care. Silicon Valley, a ghost town. Over 70% of tech workers are immigrants. The apps you use, the websites you love, the innovations you depend on, gone. Construction? Frozen. 1 in 3 workers building America came here from somewhere else. Meanwhile, our population is aging and our workforce shrinking. Without immigration, the system breaks. Immigrants aren't just part of the U.S., they keep it running. So, could America survive without them?
You guys do this all day?
Yeah. Get this field done, maybe start on another one.
You get paid by the hour?
Not by the hour, by the field. The faster we get this one done, the more our father makes.
The field. Demasio, how old were you guys when you started working for your dad?
10, 11.
Is that even legal?
Strawberries it is, and potatoes. Other crops you gotta be 12. I remember the first day I started, I wanted to quit after the first hour because it was so hard. Cried like a baby.
Yeah, I know how you feel.
Want to quit, Blanco?
What do you think?
You want to get rid of illegal immigrants, quit eating. And that's for everybody. That's, nationwide. If you want to get rid of them, quit eating. That'll solve the problem.
But when only 5 pickers showed up this morning to harvest his sweet potatoes, farmer Keith Smith saw possible ruin, the loss of his $500,000 crop.
They're running scared because of this new law.
And you're in trouble.
I'm in trouble, bad trouble.
Smith's 200 acres need 20 pickers, mostly Mexican nationals.
There is not enough documented people here to supply that workforce.
Most of your workers are here illegally.
But sure, if they got documentation, they got a better job than working for me.
Fernando Aldeman, a Mexican national, has worked Smith's farm since 1992.
Everybody's just scared.
Yeah.
Now, are you here legally? No.
No.
So, are you scared?
Yeah, I'm scared. I'm scared,
Smith's pickers make about $100 a day. He supports immigration laws, just not this one that threatens his third-generation family.
This is a message to Donald Trump. Hey, Trump, you see all these folks behind me, all hard-working Mexican Americans? I know we all look alike to you, but these folks were born and raised here and working hard to make our economy grow. And the migrants that sometimes come alongside and work with these folks, whether it's this industry or the meat packing or any other, they're here because they know how to work. You've never worked a day in your life, and you don't know what it takes to build this country. So you can take your work site raids that you and Tom Holman want to do and go shove them up your ass. Because at the end of the day, our economy is driven by people like this and by migrants and by so many others that simply want to come out here and come into this country and do well for themselves and their families.
Hey, Mr. George. Hey, how much we paying the new guy? We ain't paying that motherfucker enough. You ought to see this motherfucker.
Tough immigration law just isn't working out. Most immigration workers left, so this farmer hired Americans. Problem is, he says, most show up late, work slower, and are ready to head home after lunch. Some even quit after just one day out in the field. And farmers say many Americans are not physically fit and simply don't work fast enough.
Many of our local farmers are dependent on immigrant labor to pick their crops every day. And that's the produce you and I are buying in the grocery store. But many of the men I spoke with agree that immigrants need to be legalized in some form or fashion. Several of the farmers I spoke with today off camera say the inconsistency of the immigration law is already hitting their business. They told me workers are simply moving to states who do not have immigration laws, and they say that could jeopardize farming.
All right, MAGA, get out there. Where are you at? You got your jobs back. You got your jobs that were taken from you. Get out there. Get out there and start working. Get to work. America first. Get out there. 100% haven't shown up to work due to immigration raids, Texas farmer says. America's migrant workers are terrified to work, but unable to stay home. So get out there, MAGA. You got these jobs back. You took them back. You voted. You got your guy in there to get rid of all of those migrant workers. So get out there. Get out there and start working. But for real, I want to shout out to the undocumented migrant workers as they were deemed essential in 2020. They stepped up when this nation needed them most. They have my utmost respect. They should see a pathway to citizenship. Period. Period. They were deemed essential workers, risking their lives in one of the most hazardous jobs in the entire U.S. labor market. They have my full respect. Thank you for your service and your contribution to this country.
I hope people are waking up to the illusion that America is the greatest of all time. And as Neptune hits 0 degrees of Aries, the bubble is bursting like I predicted. So basically, America was built on genocide, collective trauma, power, abuse, right? Okay, we were fed an illusion that we were the strongest. However, we bullied people to be the strongest. Now, as Pluto has returned in the America birth chart, because Pluto was in Capricorn when America was founded, that is the birth chart of America. And Pluto equals evolution. Our country needs to evolve, okay? Capricorn means karma. So what's happening right now, as we are evolving, structures have to be dismantled. So we predicted, right, that Hollywood would fall. Okay, well, we're seeing that. Not only now are we seeing that it was extremely dark, spirited, and abusive, and terrible things happening to not only celebrities, but innocent children and people. We now see the luxury illusion of Hollywood isn't actually real. These brands were scamming us. And China, a country that has truly built themselves off of power because the community of people built up. Now, there's going to be shadows in every country, but when we downloaded Red Note, we saw how Chinese lived. And what did they say? They said the rich took care of the community. America did not build a country on community. We built the country on individualism. And the problem with that is the individuals with the most money kept it. And that is why we are crumbling at a very fast rate. And by the leader of our country making these decisions, and whoever is behind him, right? Because it's not just him, of pulling out of climate change, of not protecting certain country, all the things that they're doing on an international level, other countries are talking and are coming together. And I feel like, as we predicted with Neptune moving into Aries and Uranus moving into Gemini, boundaries of countries are going to be blurred. And I think as America steps back in power, other countries are gaining power, and it is going to evolve certain boundaries. I mean, I don't even know about the United States, right? We know there's red and there's blue, and red states are getting hit hard by certain countries where blue's not. This whole thing, Hollywood, money, the stocks, like, it's just showing us how fragile all these systems are and how these systems were not built ethically. These systems were not built for the people. And like I said in my video around the collective shadow and ego death, this all goes with it because we have to wake up to the things we've been aspiring for. Wealth, luxury, money, the lie of America, right? Come to America, Hollywood. It's not real. And we know that as Americans because we're feeling that as Americans. And as these big corporations fall, because they're being exposed, we as the individuals of America need to create communities together to rebuild in an ethical way, right? As Neptune and Saturn move into Aries and there's more entrepreneurship, if we cut out the middleman, like China's showing us, China is literally showing us you can cut out the middleman. I saw this video on TikTok of a food distributor, and he was saying, we'll distribute to you. cut out the grocery stores, because he also alluded to how much they're upselling our groceries. So if we can get more people to cut out the big corporations and start businesses ethically, we could then spread wealth and healthiness, health around the collective. And then we're in charge of the money, and we can filter it back into the education system. We can filter it back into the housing crisis. We can filter it back into having clean streets, infrastructure, transportation. But we as the people have to realize we don't need them. We don't need them. They've made us think we need them. We don't need them. We have to restructure the way we perceive reality, and it's going to take work, but we can do it. We can do it. So think about what you provide, okay? Just like a barter system, what could you barter? Everyone has a gift. Everyone has a talent. What can you provide? And I think that's something we should all just be thinking about right now. What can I provide to my community? And this is why my soul alignment coaching program is launched, because people need to find their own passions, their own gift that they are here to provide to the collective. And your astrology charts, your human design charts, it shares it all. So in my coaching program, we go over your charts, we heal the past, and we take action into the future so you can create your most aligned life. Head to my website, book a free consult call. Pricing, everything is on that page.
The way empires rise is also the way they fall. America rose by colonial settler violence and expansion, and Israel is just a microcosm of that. They rose by belligerence and brutality and genocide, and this is exactly what's bringing them down now. Yes, it is violent. Yes, it is savage. Yes, it is criminal and horrific, and it's incredibly painful. But it's like water draining out from a pool. It moves faster and more violently at the bottom of the vortex until it disappears. What we're seeing now, in my opinion, is the dying spiral of American empire, and Israel is the drain that it's going down.